Let's
right.
go.
We'll get the timer synced here fairly shortly. Alright, so being standard, we're gonna be going through escape. Uncle's gonna give us a sword actually, because this is Uncle Assured's sword. So we're gonna start off with the basics, right?
Yep,
This
pretty
is
much.
this is NMG training is what this escape's gonna be.
Certainly what Randomizer looked like before Randomize starts with Uncle, so
Yeah, there's gonna be a slightly
any
bit of
trouble.
oh well. I was gonna say there's gonna be a little bit of farming for a bomb, but there's one off our first green guard there for Buane. Can only assume KillerApp will be getting that as well. That's like #1 in the drop sequence, yeah.
Well, so far it's pretty nice. Gotta say.
Yep, no early map check, so we're not quite sure on that, but it doesn't particularly matter until they have to start making decisions. They're on the overworld after escape.
Yeah, since it's all dungeons, it doesn't matter too much. It does sort of apply because there's a very real possibility that you might have to go in against tower to finish your pennant dungeons, but other than that, it doesn't really matter as much, I guess.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Unless you like have the off chance of, oh, I really need to start thinking about the Pyramid Fairy or something like that. It doesn't really matter too much other than that. And we did get the hook shot right away, so that's
Ooh.
super cool. We might get some extra slick movement here that you don't typically get to see. Oh, Wayne's gonna be checking out the stun price right away, which is a 5 rupee, not too bad.
That is very useful information to get if you can get it. The stun price can help you build up. If it's like a 20 rupee, you can build up a lot of money just over the course of doing stuff. If it's something very useful like magic, that can come into play later. So checking that's really nice.
And of course, we're gonna need about 100 rupees in town, and maybe 50 more if we don't find any other bombs before then. Oh, Killer really wanted that magic drop, but it was just a little too high. He's gotta go all the way out of his way to walk over to it. Hookshot wasn't gonna grab it. I can't believe it.
Well, sometimes there's things that Hookshot can't do. It does a lot of things, but sometimes.
Can't believe this. Yeah, we could use the hookshot to stun this guy. I'm pretty sure you can anyway, but 8 slashes, all it needs. See you, dude. Funny enough, the hookshot can substitute for the boomerang for picking up that key. I know the in the NMG run, they use the boomerang to pick up that key because you don't have to wait for the animation as long of it dropping on the ground. And I guess the hookshot also provides that function.
That makes sense. They both retrieve items. Alright, well, we're just powering through this escape. Not much is going to stand in our way.
Man, I can't believe KillerApp went back for that full magic drop. And look how many frames behind he is right now. It's unreal.
It's unreal. Well, he is a green can of Sprite, I assume, so... You have to keep that green bar full.
That's true. Maybe he's a can of Surge today instead of Sprite.
It's a bit dated,
Yeah.
but I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man, I miss Surge, now that you mention it.
I'm sure they still sell it on Amazon or something. They'll ship a case to your house.
Yeah, like a 10-year-old case. Get some 10-year-old Dunkaroos to go with them. Sounds great. Alright, we're in the back half now. And, just a few more screens to go before we're out of here, I guess. Do have that bomb.
Yeah, and with these snakes, luckily, they can kind of get in your way here with the fighter sword, considering they take 2 hits, but the hookshot does kind of destroy them in 1 hit, which is super nice, and Buane got an 8 bomb drop off one of them as well that KillerApp seemed to have not tried for. So Buane's not going to need to buy any bombs in town. So there's a nice money save, which as of now, money's kind of stingy. So we'll see if that actually plays a role or not.
Yeah, we'll see what's in this little cove back here that you have to bomb open. Maybe there's a whole bunch of bombs in there and it's just entirely pointless. We'll find out.
Oh,
well.
Okay, never mind.
Alright.
KillerApp can also have his 8 bomb drop. That's fine too.
Ooh. So there's our moon pearl. It's a good thing to not leave behind.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna need that, of course, probably sooner rather than later. I'm excited to see all the slick hookshot movement we're gonna get here once we actually get outside, hook into trees and bushes and stuff, because you never see it this early.
Almost never. There's 10 arrows in Sanctuary. Ooh. Hookshotting up to the Sanctuary chest instead.
It's such a small distance, I don't know if it's optimal or not. We did see a map check there. We had a normal crystal at Eastern Desert and the green pendant up at Hera.
Well. Both players opting to skip Lumberjack. Aghanim's Tower is something we'll have to be doing at some point, so...
Hey. Rupees for the tier 2, I believe, tree pull, so that's pretty cool. And the bow's pretty nice too.
Well, the bow's a really nice item to find early, that's for sure. Especially when you see Eastern Palace just looming the distance with all of its good items, its hint, the old man's treasure trove. It's very tempting to go there.
Buane actually opted to save and quit out right there with something oh my god, that thief is so green and yellow.
Oh boy. That's why they took Surge off the market, Econ.
It makes you green and yellow.
Yes. But as you were saying, yes, Buane opting to save and quit right there.
It looks like he's going right to Eastern Palace here. With a sword and the bow in hand, he shouldn't have any trouble doing the dark rooms, I'd imagine. So this will be a nice quick crystal, and if he can find perhaps a bottle or the flute, he's going to have a single trip over to town rather than a potential double.
Yeah, that can pay out. Of course, if the boots are in Kakariko, that's a little annoying, but it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's something I got to keep in mind. Eastern Palace actually has a bunch of straightaways where it'd be perfect to use the boots, but just in the normal game, you never have them until after it all.
Yep. And there's a book in Blind's hideout.
Yeah, it'll be a while before we get any use out of that, I imagine. But an early book, for me, typically points to something over at Desert. So, well, I guess it's randomizer. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I've heard you say that several times over these races that we've commentated together, and a lot of times that book's just a red herring. But we'll see if this is the day you're vindicated.
Maybe I'm correct this time. Who knows? Oh, well, there's the lamp. So Eastern Palace looking even better.
Find a glove. Maybe that desert dip goes up on your list of things to do.
Without the boots, though, I'd be pretty scary. Pretty scared of going down the Desert Palace right now.
Understandably, yes. Alright, just 50 rupees is our first item in Eastern. Money's, of course, still needed by quite a bit, so don't really hate seeing that this early.
Yo, KillerApp getting double the chicken with that one explosion. Very nice. Someday I'll be able to see all 3 chickens there take the explosion at once, but 2's pretty good too.
That old lady is also a fan of Surge, apparently.
Oh my gosh, Grandma, what happened? Buane showing off a little trick there in Eastern Palace. There's usually 4 skeletons that spawn in that room, but they only appear once you cross a certain threshold in that room, and you can actually get 2 of them to spawn instead of 4, because 2 of them kind of spawn in the top wall and inside the pot, so you only have to deal with 2 if you move correctly. And then you can use the pots to actually take them out before they fully spawn in, so that's why you'll see people do kind of an awkward movement in that room. We did see that hint in Eastern Palace that a hermit has a heart piece, which I believe is just Aguna.
I believe so. I don't know if Sarashla counts as a hermit, but he did have hearts.
I think he'd be a sage.
Oh, okay. Why? Because he has a nicer Rumicon? Is that it?
Well, listen.
Alright.
He's important, okay? Maybe he has a fancier beard. He has a fancier beard or something, and that's why
he has a degree.
He gets that title. Yeah.
Well, Eastern was not very exciting. I believe that's all 3 items, 50, 20, and a shield. But hey, we gotta do it, so... Hello, Flippers.
It's a nice spot to find the flippers, right before you're just about to jump into the water over here.
Not a lot of money, though, so... You would prefer to have... 500 rupees. We'll see what the minimal Buane cave has.
Yeah, it's definitely... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, it's not really rare to not have enough money at this point, right? Unless they get like 200-300 drops in Mini Moldorm Cave, I could see him just, forgoing Zora at the moment and just getting everything else over there.
Yeah, you're right. Alright, well there's our glove. And our flute.
Alright, well that's up to East Death Mountain access right now. There's a nice chunk of stuff over there.
Yeah, we got access to Death Mountain 2 ways in that cave. One with the glove and one with the flute.
Eastern Palace having nothing of use. That figures. Best thing out of there, I mean, I guess we got a shield and the Aguna hint, but with the, bow and lamp already on KillerApp side, I don't think it's going to be too long before he heads over to the Eastern.
Yeah, most likely not. On the plus side, it did not really punish Buane for going there that early. All it really did was jumble over the order he's going to make the same checks as KillerApp. So that's nice.
Yeah, everyone's gonna do that Crystal Dungeon anyway. It looks like, though, KillerApp with the flute and the glove is gonna be able to access Eastern Palace the slightly faster way of flying there and taking the rock, I guess. If you wanna start counting the small number of frames as advantage, there's a small bit of time save right there.
Yeah, so Buane came down right here to the South Shore instead of going to the village. Which I guess makes sense. If you find a bottle, or for example the flute, which you will find, it does save a little bit of time.
Yeah, we'll end up paying off. Ooh, very nice safety waterfall cave there with a blue mail and a half magic. Not gonna complain about that one.
Well, now our can of syrup just turned into a can of Pepsi.
Oh no. Is it Pepsi? What's the brands? Like Pepsi 1 or something? There's the red mail.
Not gonna take that? Well, I guess we can come back later for it, potentially.
That's pretty far away to grab right now. Maybe if you go do Zora, you'll grab that, but I don't know.
Yeah, blue is already such a big upgrade in safety. I understand why you might just say, nah, I don't need that. As nice as red is to have.
Alright, KillerApp heading to activate his flute. Might just fly down to Ice Rod Cave afterwards. We're probably not gonna check that right away, considering we just found the flute. It's a lot faster to go fly there than it is to trek all the way over there. And I think Buane had the same idea, but remembered, oh, I just got the flippers too. Let's go use those.
Yeah, if you want to save and quit at Hobo and then do all of that, that can work out. Is
Yeah,
maybe what he's thinking.
Yeah, I could see that. Not wanting to bother swimming all the way from Hobo down there. Would rather just fly down there when he has the chance to. Ooh, almost gets blasted by that arrow. Well, luckily would have had the shield to block it. You can't actually block things while you're swimming.
It's very magical, this game. Alright, KillerApp heading up to Death Mountain right now. Gonna be grabbing this old man. The lamp is underappreciated in this room, I feel. As easy as the room is, there are times you just fall down that hole anyway.
Yeah, that's true. This is one of the easier dark rooms to learn too, which is great because it's probably one of the more useful ones with the save and quit point, I imagine.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. It's really not something you want to put off until you find the lamp, for example. If you're going to come up here anyway, just get that over with.
Yeah, technically lamp lock location though, you'll very rarely see people go out of their way to find the lamp for doing it. Alright, KillerApp gonna head up here to Spectre Rock and check out the item and the hint inside, most likely, before hookshotting over to the East Death Mountain side, which has a very nice chunk of items. I was gonna say a number, but I would have thought of it really quickly. It's like 7. 8, actually. That's why I didn't say it right away. Did see the mushroom on top of Spectral Rock, which is probably going to lead to disappointment, but who knows.
It's a secret to everybody.
KillerApp deciding to save and quit out of that cave rather than take the trek walking out or bothering to bomb jump out. Honestly, this is probably just as fast as doing all that.
Yeah, it most likely is.
It would take too long to set up the bomb jump, and by the time he did all that, this was probably the faster option anyway. Alright, Buane now activating his flute, and I imagine go follow the same path, and hopefully not taking as many dead rocks to the face as KillerApp just did.
Death Mountain is very tempting right now. You got that hook shot that can just open up all those same locations. Still has to finish out the rest of Paprika though. We can get the book as well. There's the Master Sword.
Hey, not bad. If we get a hammer soon, I want to see something on the tablet. And maybe one reason to put this off, I guess, is waiting for the hammer to see if you can also make it up to Hera, but I don't know. It's hard to skip on, 7 immediate items. 8.
Well, now that we found that Master Sword, let's think about this. Okay, we don't have our Dark World access yet. We have a lamp, and we have access to Aga Tower.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's something you have to do anyway, so... and with the gloves and flippers, or the flippers, I suppose, and the hookshot, that's also access to the west side of the Dark World.
That's something you have to consider. Though there's still a few locations we have available to us in the Light World. It might dawn on one of them just to say, well, I'm not going to put this off for much longer. I can do this. I've got to do this. I'm going to do it. And then do that. But we'll see what we find here.
Yeah, if the boots aren't required for desert, they could just go do that. There's I'd say 4 guaranteed items down there, but we don't know if we can get all the items in desert, and we do know that Aghanor's Cave is nothing of use. I would think that they might go do Aghanon before walking all the way down there to make that gamble on not needing the boots. This is all dungeons, so they'll have to do Aghanon anyway. So I could just imagine they go do that. But Buane is proving me wrong. I suppose they do have the flute, don't they? They can get down here really quick.
Yes, they do. I figured that they would at least float down here and check the ledge item, but it looks like Buane's going just straight in. Banking on that boots not being required.
Well, that makes sense. You can get a really early check to see if the boots will actually be needed for this purpose. Alright, KillerApp clearing out the east side of Death Mountain, which didn't really have anything other than the Master Sword. Oh no, KillerApp's going over the Agnes Cave. Well, he's gonna maybe kick himself a little bit later once he gets through Eastern Palace. And there's the big key on the torch in Desert Palace, showing that we will need to find the boots today.
And our hint saying a unique item requires a bomb. Well, we did find a unique item in the bomb wall in the sewer. I wonder if that is what that refers to.
I do not think so, because you can also use the boots to get that. And that's not how the hints are kind of all calculated.
Right, sure.
Here's the second shield as our first item in Desert Palace.
The cape.
And the cape. So, alright, let me throw this at you. In my experience, and that should already be raising some flags for you. In my experience, if you're gonna be forced to do Aghanim, you're gonna get both the cape and the Master Sword. It's just the way I've kind of noticed things, but I don't want to. That is not a hard rule. Absolutely not a hard rule. But that's kind of, that would be telling to me, because I am supervised.
Well, I think you are right for the most part. Buane does not have the Master Sword quite yet, so I can understand them putting off. And KillerApp doesn't have the cape yet, so they can't take your knowledge and sort of apply it to the situation. They will soon, though.
I'm actually a little surprised KillerApp decided to do this instead of Eastern Palace first, considering that he knows he might not be able to do this dungeon completely, while we know we can do Eastern completely. But it's not going to end up mattering. I don't think we've seen Ice Rod Cave yet, but other than that, there's not a whole lot we haven't seen. Other than, you know, going through Aghanim. I suppose Zora, but no one's going to farm the money just to check that.
Yeah, I guess we have the option of doing the Houlihan Bomb setup. No, we have the glove, but that's a little bit of effort.
Yeah, that's... Unless you really want to be convinced to go get the red mail, I suppose. Maybe KillerApp will think, man, I really want to go to Zora. Maybe we'll see him go to the money room here in Eastern Palace. No, that probably won't happen.
Probably not. But that is a useful room all the same.
It is. I've used it a couple times recently myself, just to make sure I had enough money after going down to, after finding an early bow, I'd go do Eastern Palace early to get that extra money before going down the South Shore, just in case I happen to get enough to go do Zora or something like that.
Well, Buane, learning the secret, is going to set this bomb jump, it seems. Nice.
That does get it. That one's actually really tricky. You shouldn't be able to make that bomb jump. It's actually just a tiny bit bigger than typical bomb jump holes would be. The only reason that one works is I don't want to sound too wrong here, but I think how it works is that you clip very slightly into the wall, and the wall pushes you out and gives you the tiny extra boost you need. I think that's how it is. That might be completely wrong. If someone knows more than me, you can make fun of me.
That sounds about right to me. I'm not really an expert either, but what my understanding was very similar to that.
KillerApp getting the news that, whoops.
Right, well, Buane now packing the Master Sword himself.
Oh, never mind, KillerApp actually didn't check that hint tile. He walked right past it.
He did.
Maybe he'll check it. He'll check it after the big key, because he's gonna go up that way anyway. He'll be able to hookshot to it. You can actually hookshot those hint tiles, and I think that's what he's gonna be doing. And then he'll check it immediately after the hookshot.
Ah,
So it's just frame saver is what it is. He's saving frames because he didn't have to deviate his movement at an angle when he's walking. What the heck just happened on Buane's side? I think he just started moving. I think he started moving left just a moment too early or something. He even paused there. He wasn't sure what happened.
Alright, we'll take 2. There we go.
Hey, very nice. All right, here he goes. KillerApp's gonna hookshot the hint tile, and then he's gonna check it immediately. He didn't hookshot it. I'm mad.
You're half right.
I can't believe this.
Can't
Oh well,
believe
it's
it.
fine.
What an outrage.
Is he gonna go to the? Oh, he is gonna go to the rupee room. He is really close to that Zora cache, I suppose.
I mean, getting all this does not take that long, so...
After Aghanim, if you happen to get the hammer, you might be tempted to go into pod, and having that extra cash, if you're thinking about doing Zora, is pretty nice. 110 is nothing to sneeze at whenever you just spent 500.
Absolutely not. Well, Buane finished up their Death Mountain trip. I'm curious to see where they're going to go. To me, it looks like they're probably going to be heading north and doing Aghanim.
Yeah, we're gonna put off Ice Rod Cave just a little bit longer. But no foul here.
Think of it this way. This might actually be the seed where we see the dev room hint. If they have the mirror where they head over there.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone consciously go down there.
Well, it's quite a ways for one check.
For, yeah, just a hint. So who knows? Armos Knight's kind of got a little bit away from KillerApp there, but he cleans it up.
Yeah, there's plenty of arrows throughout. You can just sort of machine gun it, the Rambo style.
We'll be able to check the hint tile here in Aghanim's Tower as well, so that's pretty nice. The longer a seed goes, the more useless hints are going to be, I feel, just because you're going to get all those hints that for items you've already found. Well, yeah, that would have been useful about 10 minutes ago. You would not believe how many times I've blown myself up with that bomb trying to pick up those pots right before the closet back here.
No, I believe it.
Yeah, I thought KillerApp was going to do it too, but he had the foresight to wait until the bomb exploded. Oh no, Buane taking a fall there. They're clinking the sword.
There's some clinky swords, yeah. It's one of the annoying things. I guess the bow is more useful for that. If you just want to avoid clinking, because the arrows, they don't clink. But they do alert the guards, as chat points out. Alright, well here's the hint tile, which we walked by.
Maybe he'll go back for it. And maybe he remembers it right as he walked past. Nope. He's just on... this is NMG autopilot right here.
That's very true. Hints, of course, are a relatively new thing to Randomizer, so when you get in these dungeons, it's very easy to enter autopilot mode and just completely forget they exist.
KillerApp knocking on the door, see if anyone's home.
I think plenty of people are home.
There's actually a lot of people in this castle. It's actually very well guarded.
A laser fence is not enough, you understand. We need guards.
True. That is true. It's a really strong laser fence. Only one item breaks it, and then I guess you can also sneak past it. I imagine there aren't that many invincibility capes in this world.
I don't think so.
KillerApp is getting bullied by these guards in this maze. The swords are just long enough to poke you right at the edge of the rails. Alright, Buane, on to the most exciting boss fight in Randomizer of Aghanim 1. KillerApp also taking the same spot too. Oh jeez, watch out! These guards are not playing nice for him today.
They are not. They're determined.
Alright, let's see if KillerApp tricks the hint tile.
There's no way he doesn't. He's right there.
Tower of Hera Big Key needs fire. That's somewhat useful if Hera wasn't dependent, I suppose.
Well, we're gonna have to do it anyway, and we already have fire, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, right. This is all dungeons. What am I talking about? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. We already have the fire, so it's not like that's gonna matter at all. Well, oh well.
At least you don't get your hopes up when there. Maybe I can skip the basement this time. No.
Alright, down goes Aghanim, and we'll be able to check that pyramid item, I suppose, but I don't think we're going to go straight into pod. We're probably just going to loop around the entire Dark World. Maybe take a peek into Thieves Town? I'm not sure about that one. The first 4 in Thieves Town is always tempting when you don't have the hammer. There's our big overworld map check. We've got red crystals at Thieves Town and Swamp Palace, and the other pendants are at Ice and Skullwoods. Buane's going into Palace of Darkness?
So it seems. Well,
Huh.
we do have the bow, so a lot of this is in logic, I guess.
Yeah, we'll be able to check everything except the boss here, which is pretty cool.
Unless the hammer is in here, of course.
That would be a huge, like, advantage for Buane if the hammer happened to be in here.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. You don't really have a ton of tempting options, and
I don't know, the whole western side of Dark World's pretty tempting. You can loop all the way down to Hive Cave.
it is, but I guess at the same time, with the equipment that he is now, he's going to be like orphaning a lot of locations along that path in South Shore and West Side. He doesn't have mitts, he doesn't have mirror, he doesn't have hammer.
Yeah, just a lot of extra overworld checks that could be made more better later on if you can have that mirror to check extra stuff. Fire rod's over here though.
That's a good one. That's our Skullwoods access, of course.
Someone in chat was asking what the red crystals was for. So crystals 5 and 6 in the vanilla game, which are at Ice Pendant and Mire. Yes, that's right. Those open up the big red bomb in the bomb shop that will blow up in the pyramid where you can get the gold sword and the silver arrows. In Randomizer, it is just get those 2 crystals wherever they ended up, and then you can go purchase the big bomb. And there's 2 chests inside that represent the gold sword and silver arrows.
So we did see the hint tile and pod, which was a joke. It's nothing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of having the bow already and coming right over here to pod. It doesn't seem so bad anymore. Buane's setting up a death warp over here because he doesn't have the hammer to go any further.
Yeah, that's true. Spikes are, of course, the best way, since, well, if you have mail upgrades, because they always do a full heart of damage. These little jellyfish guys do not do nearly as much damage.
Yeah, it's going back down. It's gonna take the death warp off the spikes rather than the bars. He was low enough that I wasn't sure if it was gonna matter too much, but yeah, it works out.
Bumper cape was nothing helpful, so that cape not really going to be used that much, I would say.
So I gotta say, I was mentioning this a little bit earlier. I do actually end up liking this play out of Buane now that I think about it, because it's not too rare to have to double dip pod anyway. And while it's likely you would be able to do it in one trip, just because of the sheer number of locations where the hammer could be right now, this is potentially a pretty big advantage. if you can find something here that leads to the hammer, rather than putting that off as like the last location waiting for the hammer.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of like running around to get back into pod, but as far as coming back in here just to kill the boss, it's really not that bad because the boss is just a few screens away from the entrance, at least the path you have to go on to get to the boss. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of chests in here.
it's definitely different than coming in here without the bow, say, because now you know you're gonna have to. When you find the hammer, you're gonna be able to get back here fairly quickly too, right? Because you'll be able to take the fast portal. You'll be able to fly right to it. Having just the boss left makes this a lot more attractive to me.
When I set up on the hammer up there, it's just something some players will incorporate into their normal instead of key sanity, which is where you more commonly see that. You'll see some players use that in other variations just because it does make your routing a little bit smoother walking through here.
And of course, with Fire Rod in hand, it will make the routing up around the Dark World loop a little bit better. Be able to completely clear Skull Woods if he wants to. And if Mothula has an item, and it's a good item, that could be a pretty big boon for Buane.
Yes, indeed. You can also stack up your money while you're here.
You never know, Zora might still have something.
Right. Ooh, and there's a mirror.
Alright, I'm liking this more and more.
Yeah, so coming here right away. Gonna be mirroring out.
He's trying to decide what he wants to do. Now that he has the mirror, the save and quit's going to put him back on the pyramid, and he was debating, do I mirror out and mirror before saving quitting, or what do I want to do after this, I think is what he was trying to think. Yeah, we're interested what's going on.
Seems like
his timer's running, and we can hear his game and play and all that, but something's up with the screen. I don't know, it's whatever. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, since he has that mirror, maybe that was what he wanted, is since he can, of course, come up here, check Catfish Mirror, and check Zora. I guess the only other thing you might want is the mushroom, which is on the Spectacle Rock Cave.
Oh, that's true. I guess we have the flute for that one, though.
Yeah, I don't really know if it's worth it to go get it and then come here in the Dark World and then mirror to turn it in compared to just the fluting here. I don't know.
Well, I think I'm gonna guess that Buane is in Thieves Town because I hear the crystal music. So he's done with Skull Woods.
I just heard something spit, so I think so.
A heart piece off Catfish, that's okay enough. I suppose Buane can get a really early red mail if he wants to. It isn't too far off the path.
I would grab that. I don't know about you. I just really like the safety, and I really like the color red, so...
It's really not that far out of the way, even though the upgrade from blue to red isn't nearly as important, I feel, as green to blue. I think that's still close enough. If this was... Well, I was going to say if it's hard mode, you'd grab it for the lower health, but in hard mode you wouldn't have the red mail anyway, so I don't know.
Well, if it were hard mode, then you would definitely grab it, because that's not supposed to be there. Well, that's a pretty good bargain. 500 for 20.
But nope, he ain't grabbing it. No red mail today for Buane. He's gonna go back through the castle portal at the gate, and then he's going to be heading back up, I would guess, to completely clear Skull Woods, looking for that hammer so he can do Thieves Town immediately after.
Yeah, probably going to be heading all the way around the west side. Now that we have that mirror, that also opens up the cave south of the Grove in Dark World. And I guess if you really want to, you go to Dev Cave and then mirror and you do Ice Red Cave.
Please.
Please.
That would be like a last-ditch effort to find something if we got nothing out of after going all the way down to Hype Cave and getting nothing there. Maybe that's what you do. Who knows?
Well, consider this. All the hints so far have been pretty bad. There's got to be at least one good one. Maybe it's that.
I thought the Agana hint was okay. It's just that only half of our racers got it in time.
Yes, we can also check this graveyard grove ledge with that mirror. So that's really nice. That was a really good dip into pod. Gonna pay out for Buane a bit in these checks that KillerApp has already sort of made, but hasn't been able to do as much.
Yeah, this is gonna give him a lot of extra overworld checks, and maybe they're all potentially useless, and this is just, wasting more time, but it's a nice peace of mind thing.
Yeah, and if KillerApp also comes back for these, then Buane will have a small advantage just because he could do them quicker.
I hear blind. That was
That was a great pun.
It was a great pun, blind. I couldn't even see it myself. Yeah, I was listening for like a hammer peg bop in front of the big chest, but I didn't hear it.
I did not hear it either. So Buane mirrored right here at Bumper Cave, which KillerApp didn't do. We're gonna check the Sunjet Cave, which we're only missing boots for now. What do we have? We have... Oh my gosh.
I was addressing something. Hold on, don't tell me. I'll see you in a second here. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
All right, that's a nice check. That was a really hey, good thing you found the mirror, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that limits where those boots can be. Probably a pretty good margin.
Can't be in the Mire area. Can't be in Ice Palace. Can't be on Dark Death Mountain. What am I missing? I guess the mid-slock locations in the west side of Dark World as well.
I hear digging game.
I wouldn't be surprised if Buane finds his boots pretty soon, with that in mind. Maybe that's a bit premature to me to say. There is Hype Cave after all, but
I think the digging game was a heart piece.
I think you're right. It's a very distinct sound.
I'm more interested in what I can hear rather than what's going on. I feel a little bad. I hear more hookshot movement, so he hasn't found the boots yet. Oh, a bunch of money from Stumpy.
Oh, a lot, yeah. Probably a big 300.
Alright, Buane is heading into the back of Skull Woods here, which KillerApp could not have done based on what we hear.
Well, not just based on that, but based on the fact the Fire Rod was in the pod.
Yeah, that's true.
Half Magic's gonna make this fight really simple, too.
He's checking out the Swamp Palace hint.
Did you hear that, Mikam?
It was a one-liner.
It's definitely text. Could have said anything. Oh, hear this Mothula fight. Hoping to use the sword.
I'm not having too much luck with these Fire Rod shots. Sometimes you can get Moth to bounce downward after Fire Rodding him, but yeah, it seemed to work out pretty alright. Oh, small money from the thief. Well, there were two non-money items in there. Oh, hey, Mothville is dead.
Yep, just dropped the compass. So one of those was not the boots. Since we do not hear the clicking of link seals, I guess you're gonna call it. Something else we can do while we're here coin can with that mirror. Check the pedestal. Ooh.
Not too bad. Samari in the back of Skull Woods.
It doesn't do anything for us right now, but once we get them boots, it's a pretty useful item to have. It opens up quite a bit.
Yeah, I would say so. Boots giving the mitts, which means that I wonder if we're gonna find the hammer before or after.
I just realized we don't have any medallions, so I guess that's something. Can't actually get an Amaya or Totorock even if we had those, so
True.
maybe that Candace Maria is still a bit off from being useful.
KillerApp is heading into pod right now. I hear the monkey taking his item for his money.
His item, yes.
Yeah. His 100 items. So I don't think we got to see what the other item was here in Skull Woods. We might have an. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind.
So that's both items, Candace Maria and a heart container. Pretty good overall. One definitely required item and one nice to have item.
See if Buane decides to go into Thieves Town without the hammer.
I would be surprised if we did not, because once you do that, what's your options? If you clear out the entire west side that you can go into swamp at this point and get one chest without the hammer. And that might be important to know when you get there.
I guess so.
I mean, that's just me. I guess we could also get the Tower of Hera now. So I guess we don't really have that information. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's true. The hammer could be all the way up there, which would be kind of rude. And I suppose we'll also have access to the mushroom if we go up that way as well.
As well as the ether tablet, since we can read.
Yeah, that's true. Reading is fundamental, so... there's a joke here, and I can't quite think of it. Wasn't that funny?
It's pretty funny.
Good joke, huh?
Good joke, Colin. Well, I think it would be more tempting to go up to Hera before coming here, but because we have our only access to Dark World is the Tower Gate, you kind of just have to come in here now if you're going to come in here.
Yeah, it would take way too long to get back here to bother skipping anything right here. I think KillerApp took a calculated death warp from the spikes right below the Bowlock chest and pod. I heard a lot of spike tinking and him taking damage.
The Planky Dinky's very useful depth warping, so I think you're right.
We'll be able to actually see the items we got here in Thieves Town. Nothing quite yet. I think someone said that they were keeping an eye on KillerApp's tracker is still running on his stream, so they can check out the items he got there.
I see.
This is pretty interesting. Does this count as like full VOD for like recording purposes? I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I'm not qualified to comment. I will not comment.
Okay, that was the big key chest. Wait, no, it wasn't. Okay, now he's on the bridge. Okay. This Buane gets back here into T-cell. We'll see if he checks this hint. Okay, good, he is. Some cash and some bombs is in Western Swamp Palace. Hey, not a bad hint.
That's actually a pretty good one. Being able to know if you can actually skip the left side of the swamp is a very, very nice time saver.
I think we did hear Killer App check that hint as well, so he has that information. Alright, I think Killer App is... Yeah, he's definitely in the Dark Maze now. I'm hearing those
hear the
fireball
fire.
shots. So he'll get that mirror really soon. And I guess we'll be able to hear if the hammer was one of the items he found, though I don't think it was because we would have heard it on the way to pod. Oh, he also wouldn't have death warped, I suppose.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
It's kind of fun just inferring based on what you hear. What he's actually found. Alright, well, not a whole lot of Thieves' Tom left. We know what we probably won't find here, but we don't know what we will find here.
Oh, that's unfortunate that it was the key, because
Yikes.
now we might have to keep in mind there's something in that big chest. I don't know about the compass and map situation, if we have them both or not. I'm hearing those fallen cabbages on Killer App's side, so he's
Up to Hera.
going
probably.
to Hera, yeah. I hear the pause. Here comes the ether. It's an item. Oh, I think it was a heart. A full heart container, because I heard a little blip.
I believe you're right.
Oh, hey, Buane beat blind.
He did. He sure did.
I'm trying so hard to keep... There's only one screen for me to pay attention here, but I'm just so interested in listening to see what I can tell. Alright, we do know that the basement holds the big key, so... we're not sure what that hint was he just checked. And there's our first item in here. There's 300 rupees, it sounds like.
Oh, Buane does not have enough money for the big game.
Oh wow, that's right. Well, he's about to get some from the Stumpy because we know he's cash.
Gonna stun these guards first.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he knows the Stump prize is 5 rupees now, and he's gonna go back and dig up his harpies.
Well, was a little unnecessary based on what we know, but good application of that knowledge he gained earlier. It's obviously Buane does not know there's a bunch of money sitting at something.
He'll laugh it off, I'm sure.
Alright, well,
There's
Go
the
ahead.
big key for Killer App.
there's the big key. Well, Buane does have the smear, so we'll be seeing what this little cave here, what it holds. Something that Killer App does not know.
Sure, why not? We'll grab that.
The mirror shield for the mirror. Works out. I mean, it's a useful item. If it's just lying right there, take it.
I don't know, for the mirror shield, that feels slightly out of the way to me, even if it is
Well,
that short a distance.
based on when you know it is the mirror shield and when it's something, anything.
Thanks, boy. I was really hoping he would do something to slash at that guy, but that's definitely what happened. Looks like Buane is not gonna go check out the swamp hint, so we do not know what KillerApp knows.
Wayne goes and checks this dev cave hint. I'm gonna lose my mind. I doubt he is, but
I think I heard some cash out of the second item in Hera, so I don't think there was anything up there.
10 arrows.
And our first bottle, the first bottle, in fact, yeah.
That's not a great height cave, but I mean, the bottle, of course, could be. Oh, we are gonna check out the swamp pit.
Oh,
We might actually go deeper.
yeah, Buane has the mirror right now. He might actually check out that first item.
I hope he does.
Oh, he
Yep.
totally is. Oh, man.
I like it. You know what, Mikon? I like it.
Maybe he feels ahead enough, right? I guess there's really not that many places for him to check else. I mean, we have, what, this, an Ice Rod Cave? And we know Hera's nothing.
Yeah.
Ether Tablet was nothing, and the Mushroom, I guess.
Yeah. This actually, the first chest in Swamp isn't actually that much of a time investment, I guess, in Buane's mind. Because obviously you do have to flood the dam, you have to go through the room, but it's actually not that far.
Oh, okay, that's a pretty good ice hint.
Yeah, it's that saves some time.
Yeah, purple chest is nothing. But yeah, I think Buane feels maybe slightly ahead due to dipping into pod and getting that mirror and fire rod right away. So he might feel like this is
Yeah,
worth the risk.
This is actually really not that much of a time investment, all truth be told.
Well,
it's the boomerang, but if that was something important, that would have been huge. So I like the decision. Can also go and check Combo's tablet from here.
oh, that's right, he's got the mirror. This is great.
This is working out really nicely. That early pod dep's just paying out.
I'm gonna laugh if this is the hammer. As chat points out, it's also a big pain in the butt to get all the way back here if it happens to be that you have to come back here. That's even more time sink.
Yeah, you literally have to go the entire way around Dark World just to get back there. So if you're gonna do it, you might as well.
Buane just turned in the mushroom.
I think you mean KillerApp turned into the mushroom.
I did. That's exactly what I mean.
Where are these boots become?
Oh, heart piece. Heart piece at the mushroom, it sounds like. Is the hammer an ice rod cave? Or the boots even?
If it is, I'm never gonna shut up that ice cave ever again.
Oh my gosh. Just imagine if it's an ice rod cave and
That's
both
been it
these
the whole
guys-
time.
That's been well. Both these players just didn't get it right from the start. They got the flute and mini Moldorm and decided not to come back because they could just fly there, and just no one did. All right, KillerApp checking out his Catfish and Zoro combo. We'll try to hear if he picks up the red mail, I guess. Yep, Ether was a heart container. Well, we'll get a couple new information from hints here in Hera. Oh, that's a really close dead rock to the staircase.
It's a little hairless, but managed to slip through.
That's another pretty good hint. I mean, we're gonna have to get their green pendant anyway, but that's gonna be a small bit of time save right there.
You don't have to worry about going for that. And convenient that's in the green pendant dungeon.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah, don't bother sharing this in. This isn't what you're looking for.
Alright, KillerApp is totally grabbing the red mail. No, he's not. He's walking out. He didn't even grab it, did he?
No love for red mail today.
Where's he going? Is he turning the mushroom? No, he just did that.
Is he going to be taking the warp to Ice Rod Cave, maybe? No, he has a flute. Why would he do that? I have no idea what's going on, Econ.
I'm trying to... Oh, he's going across the graveyard ledge to check all that stuff he didn't... Yeah, he just hookshot across. I heard the hookshot, and it makes like one little water walk noise, the little blip in the water when you walk. It makes one of those when you hookshot across the river. So that's where he's going.
Okay, well, he is going to end up disappointed. But this is one thing that Buane, that with that early pod dip, like I said earlier, just really pays out.
Yeah, he's checked all this already. That's gonna be a nice time save in this situation where some cash isn't turned off. That doesn't help too much. It'll be nice in this situation where this whatever item we're looking for is pretty far off the beaten path, apparently.
Maybe it's right on the beaten path in Ice Rod Cave, and
I'm going to love it when we find the boots in Ice Rod Cave and both of these guys feel so far behind.
I really hope if they're gonna go over there, they're gonna do it in the Dark One. I can't get it out of my mind. But
You want them to just check the hint and mirror into the boots in Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, I want that hint, by the way, to talk about what's in the Ice Rod Cave.
The boots hint always exists, right? So maybe it is.
That would just make my day. Alright, there goes my old arm. Nice easy 3 spins the Master Sword.
KillerApp is probably heading into Skull Woods. Yeah. So he's going to be grabbing his Canis Mari and finishing off Mothula. While Buane, Mushroom, got it.
Yeah, Mushroom first, and then probably Ice Rod Cave, I would expect. Not a lot has changed since.
Yeah, it's a heart piece, alright. He's grabbing it too. He did the same thing KillerApp did. I remember hearing the B release.
Well, I mean, you got the money. There's really no reason not to. You're right here. Blue potions can be important. Oh, dodge the duck.
Wow, see you later, Duck. He's trying to remember what he forgot.
Oh no.
No, you did everything desert. Oh, he's checking out Agonist Cave. He thought maybe I misread the hint somewhere.
Nope.
No, he just remembered Ice Rod Cave. Here we go.
Alright, here we go.
Please be the boots. Preemptive bombing. Yes!
Oh my god. Alright, guys. Don't skip Ice Rod Cave.
Oh my gosh. Never skip Ice Rod Cave.
Never do it.
Never. Alright, there's our mitts from the Lumberjack Ledge. And then you can actually just immediately go down and check out the rocks in King's Tomb as well, with the mitts you just found.
Yeah, that's gonna be what I assume Buane does. We don't have any medallions, so
yeah, no chance of getting into Turtle Rock or Mire, but I think the next play should still be Desert. I think there's still an item left in there. And we can complete it now, and you can also check out the medallion required, the cave, and then the checkerboard as well. Yeah, Aghanim was still required. This is all dungeons, so they still had to do it, but especially for those mitts right there they just got. But it's just funny, right?
Yeah, pretty funny. Alright. Now we get to see just how much faster things would have been if we just got those right away.
That might have helped on Mothula, I guess.
I mean, it only takes 2 spins with Tempered Sword for Moldorm.
Still, I guess a good number of spots that hammer can still be. East Death Mountain's looking pretty good, but without a... I love video games. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, yeah, this is what I would think to do, is to come down here and do desert and check out the free items that are down here. Bombos it is. I don't think we haven't even seen a medallion anywhere, like just hanging around.
Nope. Gonna be soon, I assume. Like right now, maybe?
Oh?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you typically in this situation, I feel like you would have been right, considering how things have been going.
Yeah. It's gonna be in Checkerboard Cave. Alright.
I see.
And if it's not in Checkerboard Cave, then the Turtle Rock Medallion is gonna be on East Dark Death Mountain. I can't be wrong.
That one we still need the hammer for. I suppose in a very rare situation, Vitreous might still have our hammer or something. I don't know. Maybe it's still here in desert. How many items did we find here? Oh wait, we did find both, didn't we? Or is that?
I think we found both.
The cape was here for sure.
I think there was money too, but I might be wrong. Alright, here we go.
This is Bombos, you're saying?
This has to be Bombos.
Okay. Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we have Ice Palace now, don't we?
Oh, we do.
Without the hammer.
That sounds like a fun time to me, Mikon.
Yay.
Love going to Ice Palace and not being able to complete it, potentially.
Yeah,
Well, I still think that before we do that, Buane will be tempted to go to the east side of Dark Death Mountain and check out Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny.
Definitely, probably, for sure.
Definitely, probably, for sure. Well, that sounds like an endorsement to me.
Yeah, just to maybe answer a few curious things in chat. The reason they didn't check it is because they found the flute in Mini Moldorm Cave, so they just wanted to go activate the flute and then fly down to Ice Rod Cave, but they just kept finding stuff and better places to go, so they just didn't go to Ice Rod Cave right then when they had it in mind. They also had the flippers at that point, so you immediately put that off and go check out flipper stuff, of course, because why not? And then it just kind of went out of mind for both runners, and they just didn't get back to it.
Alright, well that's Desert Down. So we're halfway through, well, not really halfway, a little less than halfway through the Saw Dungeons for Buane.
I think it's amazing how far we've gotten in, but it's been an hour 10 and we're still looking for this hammer. I mean, typically you're almost in go mode around this time, right?
Typically.
I mean, I guess it's rando, so you never quite know, and it's just kind of silly how things have turned out here.
Well, I get the feeling that everything's about to fall right into place. I'm just gonna hit the chain, and it's gonna be go time. I feel it, Mikon.
In all likelihood, it's probably over here. Buane, not having the hammer, cannot use the Turtle Rock portal at the top, but this will work out anyway. He'll be able to check these 2 chests on the way up. I haven't been listening on a killer app recently. Do we know what he's doing? Oh, he just went to Ice Rod Cave. I heard he opened up the flute menu and moved once.
Yes.
So he went down to 8. So he'll be getting his boots here, and hopefully we'll be able to hear a slash from him. There's our shovel.
Getting the runaround.
No, he grabbed the boots and immediately saved and quit. He's being all business about this. We are out of here.
Todoraka, in the meantime, was Quake.
Alright, Hammer has to be here, right? It's not going to be at the shovel or an ice palace, is it? Or maybe it is.
Wow.
You know.
Alright. Okay.
Alright.
Thanks.
Whatever. I would go straight to the shovel. I don't know about you.
Yeah. At this point, I'm going to the shovel first. If the shovel's hammer and you dip in the ice palace, you're going to feel terrible.
Yep.
And this is right here. We got the flute. We have no reason not to check this first.
Yep. That's first idea for Buane as well. I guess we also have the whole blacksmith area.
Yeah, we do.
Shovel dash. Alright.
Oh my gosh. Is it going to be blacksmiths? Are they going to give it the hammer again?
That's the second time the duck has evaded Buane.
Alright, well, we're putting off Ice Palace for as long as possible, which I cannot blame Buane for doing.
Yeah, at least we know that the purple chest is not needed, so that'll be a nice time save.
Yes.
Did Buane do fake powder? I don't think he did.
I don't think so. If he
Okay.
did not, he's going to do it now. Or
Well,
no, he turned into mushroom, so he can't.
Yeah, he definitely turned the mushroom.
Well, it's not the end of the world if it is powder. We do have meds. We can get back here really quickly. It'd be nice to be able to do it, but
Yeah, so this blacksmith, this frog, is just a single location. There's nothing else over here he can do, or that he wants to do, because we know that purple chest has nothing in it.
give me your hammer, dude. Come on.
Alright, there's the mitts for killer app, and
Need
there's
it.
the hammer!
Of course. Of course.
Finally.
You know, I'm pretty sure the last seed we commentated, hammer was there too. I might be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure. In any case, that is our hammer. That's quite the important find. Now we can finish up Pod. We can go through Swamp House, and I think Swamp Palace is probably going to get the priority there because it also opens up the Pyramid Ferry. And we also know that we can skip the left side, so it's going to take no time at all. And I'm wrong. We're going to Pod.
We're gonna go finish up Helmasaur.
It doesn't really matter. This is just this one location. You can't really get it better than this.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of options now, and now we're just looking for those medallions to get into the dungeons. I suppose those being cut off right now is actually still pretty good, because that limits where we can go immensely. We're gonna need those 2 medallions, and we're gonna need that ice rod, and that's gonna be about it. So we're just looking for those 3 items. Might as well tie up some loose ends while you can. Just go finish your crystals that you're gonna have to do anyway. You don't need to wait on the boots, you got those already. Finally.
Finally. Well, that King Samaria did end up being quite nice to find. Means we don't have to push a statue.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes, Spike Cave is finally in logic. We can finally do Spike Cave if we really wanted to. KillerApp is in the Super Bunny Cave right now, I believe. Yeah, it sounds like it. We'll try to listen to where he goes immediately after this, because, I don't know, I still assume it would have to be desert. I still feel like that is the best option. Looking for the hammer, because that's still somewhat dense, because you have the mire shed right there in checkerboard, and I guess desert doesn't have any items yet, but whatever.
Yeah.
Why is it called Super Bunny Cave, someone is asking? That is because you can get those items in that cave without the Moon Pearl using a glitch called Super Bunny. Which is activated just by falling down one of the holes in there. It puts Bunny Link in a state where he can open up chests. So that's called Super Bunny Cave, because you would use the Super Bunny glitch to grab those chests without the Moon Pearl. It's very rarely seen. Because it's weird to have the myths over there and not have the Moon Pearl, I guess. That's
Yeah.
how I feel anyway. But yes, that is also where all of the bunnies live, and they are very super.
Yes, that is where they live. That's the real reason. Alright, well, pod over and done with. We never have to think about that dungeon again. Buane probably hitting the swamp now, I would assume.
Swamp or ice? Ooh, it
Yeah,
looks
ice.
like ice. Give me the hints for those last few important items, please.
Yeah, now that you mention that, that's actually a good point. These hints could be very useful.
Actually, knowing that the left side of Swamp Palace is nothing, we found the hint that it's nothing. I would almost thanks. I would almost prefer doing that before this, but I mean, either way, you're probably gonna full clear both of them anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no way you're gonna find all 3 go mode items in just Swamp Palace.
that would be pretty insane.
Where is KillerApp?
Ice Palace, maybe? No.
I don't hear any sound effects going on. Oh.
Oh, maybe.
Whoa!
Okay.
Whoa!
We're back. Must have realized there was an issue going on with his recording, so I'm glad we figured that out.
Quake requires the King of Samaria. Hey, that's interesting because Quake's the medallion for Turtle Rock. So that must mean Vitreous has Quake, right?
I believe you're correct. Turtle Rock is a crystal, so it can't be in Ganon's tower. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great hint to find.
Yeah, and then if you wanted to do these dungeons in a specific order, I think doing Mystery Mire before Turtle Rock would be your preference, because that way you can maximize your chances to get the Ice Rod before having to fight Trinex potentially. So obviously, you do need that to beat Trinex, and having to double dip Turtle Rock just to find the Ice Rod is not something you really want to be doing.
Yo, KillerApp's on the move again. It looks like he has fixed his issues here, and now we have both players in the same dungeon. That's pretty funky after all that. I guess there's Vamos right there.
There we go.
Alright, there's our access into Misery Mire, and the Quake Medallion as well, knowing that it is now on Vitreous. Meaning that we are just the Ice Rod away from Go Mode. It's gonna be anywhere before Trinex and I guess Ganon's Tower as well.
Yep.
Oh, KillerApp, please check that hint. That is a very important hint. Okay.
Okay. KillerApp also getting that important knowledge.
I mean, I guess at this point there's not really many other places to go. It probably wouldn't go fight Vitreous anyway and grab it. That's
I mean, you're gonna find Bombos in here anyway, right? So
yeah, it's gonna be your next place to go. KillerApp's not looking too hot in the health department here. Might have a little issues. Okay, gets the bomb jump. Good thing too. I think he has a potion from whenever he turned the mushroom.
yeah, he does. So
Buane deciding to forego checking the iced tea room. I don't know the dungeon count of items right now, so I'm not sure if there's still a possible item left. But either way, hey, here's Goldstare.
here he is, and he's a pretty easy boss when you have the gold sword.
Ooh, gets a really weird angle there, but can clean it up fairly nicely.
There you go. Alright, well, even if there is an item in the iced tea room, you have to go to the Mystery Mire now, right? You just have to, you know, well, I guess maybe not Mystery Mire. Maybe you go to Swamp first.
Yeah, I think Swamp may be just as well, concerning we know we're not going to have to do the left side. So, it's go mode enough to be fast enough to check everything there, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, and if you find the ice rod in there, you can skip a lot of these checks in Mystery Mire, potentially, depending on where the big key is, so I agree with that.
I hate how that one octopus guy is positioned just so perfectly to shoot a rock through right between those statues. Hits you right before you go through that portal. Let's see if KillerApp... Oh, he is going to the iced tea room, isn't he? Okay, well, what did Buane leave behind? Some cash. Ooh, good for him. KillerApp just mirrored.
He does not have the hammer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is
That's
kind
bad.
of an important item, isn't it?
That is pretty important. Unless there's a way to hammer down the pegs before Cold Stare. Without it. In which case I would like to know.
Yeah. That may have been like a last-ditch effort. You know how late I found these boots. I am so far behind. I need to do something crazy to win. And that was what he wanted to do, is looking for a hammer there.
I believe you're right. He didn't get bombos either, but I believe that was on the hammerlocked chests.
Yeah, where the Stalfos hops down to ambush you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where Bombos was, so he could not get it. Which is probably just as well. Because going into Mire and full cleaning that when he has the potential not to would be kind of annoying. So that's not so good for KillerApp. Yeah, that might be the nail, as they say. Pretty sure they say that. All of them say that.
All of them say that. Well, there's the hammer to nail the nail.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm glad that worked out in the end.
Worked out.
Well, yeah, that kind of stinks, but I mean, Randomizer's Randomizer. That was kind of a really crappy placement for that. I can't believe both of them got the boots as late as they did. That's so That's so funny to me.
That's so
because-
random.
That's so rando. Because I can't blame them either, right? Because that's just how... I mean, finding things to go other places when you have the fleet to fly everywhere and just skipping that one spot makes a lot of sense. People do that all the time. It was just funny to me how both of them did it, and it just played such a major part.
Yes. We did find the magic powder in Swamp Palace, which is a little annoying. Because that could be our ice rod.
KillerApp did do the fake powder, I'm fairly certain.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he does not have the ice rod.
Did he?
I definitely heard KillerApp check. I definitely heard him check the bat.
Yeah. Well, I'll trust your ears, Mikon.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Whoa, Buane, like, stop that last puff. Just turned up immediately and grabbed him dead in his tracks, and then didn't capitalize on it. Like he wasn't expecting it either. Oh, I hope this isn't the big key.
It is, probably.
Whew.
Okay.
Alright, that is the 8th dungeon down for Buane. Has 2 more to go. We know where Quake is, and we do not know where the Ice Rod is, so hopefully it's going to be over here in Mire. If it's not, where the heck is it? Is Spike Cave, Turtle Rock, I guess, would be the obvious solution. We know a lot of places where it isn't, thanks to the hints. So it's not a purple chest. I suppose it could be at the big bomb. We haven't seen that yet.
Have we seen Spike Cave? I don't think so.
Yeah, not Spike Cave yet. KillerApp a little low on health there. Knocks the mask off right before the fire despawn or appears rather than right after it appears. You can despawn it that way if you knock the mask off right as the fire comes out. But he's fine. KillerApp has a lot of ground to make up. It looks like he still needs to go to desert as well. And then a second dip into Ice Palace, which is just super unfortunate. Well, it's starting to feel like another Ice Rod in Turtle Rock. You know, that common place for it. We'll see if we can find that other single item here in Mire. Yeah, with no big key yet, we gotta keep going anyway. KillerApp going right into Swamp Palace. I would assume he got the hint about the left side of Swamp being nothing.
Most likely. I guess the good thing about this is once you find this one item, you can just go straight to Vitreous. So.
Yep. That's what we're hoping to see. Well, there's the big key. He wants to... Oh, he can't decide.
Okay.
Oh, he's not going to go to the cutscene chest. Instead, he's going to go to the 2 chests on the right side instead of just the 1. The 1 plus hint. He knows there's an item at Vitreous. He wouldn't have... If he didn't know there was already an item there, he wouldn't have done the whole crazy thing.
The dance.
So he must be... The dance, yeah. The, crap, what do I do dance.
I feel like you can't leave the time behind, Meyer. There it
Nice
is.
choice. Nice choice.
All right. Leaving behind that last item, Meyer, just seems really risky to me. So I'm glad he.
Like the one on me left behind an ice palace.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that all the time, but then you're being crazy. The last thing you want to do is have to gamble on spots you gambled leaving behind, right?
You start gambling on your gambles, and then everything starts to break.
The returns aren't good, that's what I'm saying. I am fully expecting this ice rod to be in Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, it seems really likely at this point. I don't know how. Ooh, nice spooky going on there for Buane.
October is over.
It's so cool to see, having no idea how that works. Maybe I'll practice it sometime, try to figure it out. What was the left side hint for Swamp? It was just 2 junk items over there, the hint said. I don't quite remember what they were at this point, but it was a really nice hint.
It was cash and bombs, I want to say.
Probably. There's our Quake as predicted, as the hints foretold. Now, do you still feel behind enough to go right into Turtle Rock without checking the Big Bomb or the Spike Cave, I guess, are the 2 we can really think of? Outside of TR?
I feel like the Big Bomb is worth checking right now. But we'll see. Spike Cave I'm a little less sold on, but...
Nope, he's going right to TR.
Alright, well... The odds do favor the ice rod being there and or in Mimic Cave, so...
Oh yeah, for sure.
The unfortunate thing is, if it isn't, those 2 locations are in the Dark World, so you'll lose your ability to put your portal right at the back entrance to Turtle Rock and come back really quickly.
Yeah, that safety portal isn't going to work out if you have to dip into the Dark World at all. Maybe the hint inside Turtle Rock will be nice enough and tell us where it is.
Wouldn't that be great? If that were the hint.
Or maybe it's the hint down at the Dev Cave in the lower right that you so wanted to see the whole time.
Well, that is the Ice Rod Cave in the Dark World-ish. It would only make sense.
Well,
well, we're gonna check that now.
Yeah, that's good. We'll have to go all the way back to the town to check that out. Maybe it means the front of the tavern.
Maybe. I hope so. I hope they're doing well.
Who's this? KillerApp? Oh,
nice. Okay.
Just the first chest in Turtle Rock. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's really
boring. That's boring.
Boring it may be.
It's not in any like stressful location like later in Turtle Rock.
Well, be that as it may be, Con. That is our go mode for Buane.
He's gonna have no idea how he won this.
You think?
Yeah.
Just putting up that ice arcade for so long?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, the time's pretty good. All that considered, maybe he might feel that the early pod play with the mirror and such.
I wonder how many tens of minutes faster this would be if they got those boots right at the start when they should have.
I'm going to say 110 Well, there's silver arrows in a vanilla-ish location.
Killer App got his vanilla silver arrows.
Not that important, considering we have a gold sword for silverless. I don't think Buane's gonna be very concerned about that, considering they can do the spooky glitch in Misery Mire. But it's something. It'll make the Vitreous fight a little easier, I guess. Maybe.
That gold sword, though, I can see. I just noticed the can just lays on its side as it swims in the water. With the gold sword, I think spinning it might be just as fast, if not faster, than arrowing them all.
Well, yes, for the small eyeballs, but I think the silver arrows might be a bit faster than for the big one.
Yeah, it's true.
Who knows?
I think it's still like 8 gold slashes to take down giant eyeball.
Alright, well, we can skip Mimic Cave, we can skip Laser Ridge except for the one small key we need. Things looking alright.
Yeah, Buane does have a substantial lead right now. KillerApp. Gonna be a little difficult to come back to this one. There's not really much room for Buane to lose time at this point. I mean, stranger things have happened, but odds aren't looking so hot. Wow, nice pixel there for KillerApp. Gets to charge the entire room. Kane and burn in the big chest. You always want to check the big chest just in case it happens to be a small key.
Yeah.
Because especially if you had to check the laser, or if you had to check the lava island item for the big key, and you're not gonna have that extra small key from the pokey.
You don't have to come back up here to get it.
Yep, that'd be pretty bad. Well, KillerApp's about to get his Bombus Bow and be super relieved about that, knowing where Quake is already as well, and now he will be just his Ice Rod away. Oh, he's not even checking the upstairs item. This is like ultimate, I'm behind. I have to skip everything I can.
Yeah, it is understandable, and it's also true. He is quite behind at this point. So, there's our small key.
Buane about to go into the Trinex fight. Trinex is not going to know what hit him. We're going to be in and out of there in like 30 seconds, if not less.
Yeah, and then we're on against tower. We have everything else done. So this is just going to be like a normal standard. Here on out.
Oh yeah, Buane definitely thinks he's behind. I would assume so.
But you put off the Ice Arcade for that long, it's got boots in it. You assume the worst. You assume your opponent plays perfectly. Even though that's a very unrealistic scenario. You just assume it when you're in these races. It eats at you a bit. Alright, well that's our last dungeon. Alright, well, I don't know if we actually play the game for this tournament or what. Oh, okay.
I am.
Alright, well, there's 20. We kind of you explain it.
What? No. Put your things inside where you think the bug net is.
The bug net now. The big key.
The big net.
The big key. Get your guesses in chat if you're right. Well, as you see, the bot explained it. I don't have to explain it.
You'll get your name in some text. and you get to smile every time the bot pushes your name whenever we get the, I don't know, there's probably a command that shows the leaderboard, right? Yo, it's the bug key! It was 1!
It was 1. That's sadly not the key we're looking for.
Dang, I would have been wrong.
Oh.
I guess
Wow.
three's pretty good too.
3 is a pretty good number, and we even have a small key. We're good to go.
Nice, glad that didn't take too long. Oh yeah. Yo, speed gaming bot's laughing at me. Holy moly, look at all those names. Jeez, bot spamming long text. Yo, congratulations to the person that was closest. The person that was closest was still like 4 away. That's fine though. Thank you all for coming by and watching our race. And not the other races. Unless you're watching the other races too, that's pretty cool. We have like 3 races start at the exact same time, so it's a little overwhelming at this time slot, I feel, but that's fine.
Yeah, just a little bit, but we all know what's the best race. We're not gonna say it, but we all know.
I'm not even watching. I think I should pull up the other races just so I can watch all of them. No, I'm not going to do that.
Save that for afterwards.
There you go. Have the after party and watch all the races at once. Then we can compare who had the crappiest boot location. Spoilers, it wasn't this race.
It was not this race. It turned into that, but that was not the fault of the sea. That was that was just, we'll call it unfortunate circumstances.
I just want you both to go fast. Why won't someone find me? Alright, Buane going up the gauntlet here. Finished up. I missed like a whole bunch of this because we were joking about the big key. He went through the gauntlet, got past Lamellus 2, is on going into the 2 fire rooms that he's got to light the torches in. And that's my play-by-play. No, he doesn't have to do anything too fancy here. He's got a blue potion in his pocket. Everything's going to be hunky-dory. Everything's great.
Everything should be fine.
You know, this room kind of looks like Ganon's face. It's the pig with the horns, and then the little tusks are the little rails.
And each tile represents one fall that you're going to be taking. Yes.
Ooh, that seems a little excessive.
A little excessive. That's just how it is. Alright, well, that powder ended up being a nice find just the same, because you can use it to get a nice health refill in this room. And of course, when you actually complete Ganon's Tower, you don't get one of those, so you kind of have to make your own.
Yeah, it's helpful in all dungeons, because if you're going to avoid doing Aghanim, you can just do Aghanim immediately after this and get that health refill for Ganon, but not quite the case this time. Buane checking for a last-ditch silver arrow, so I can only guess that's what he's doing. There's really nothing else you could possibly want.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. Just check that for silver arrow. Of course, we know it's in the pyramid, so potentially Buane could get it if they really want it. I don't think they're gonna
get him. I won't blame him if he decides he wants to go grab the silver arrows after Ganon tells him where they are. No, he won't do that.
Do you know the silver arrows are like 20 feet away?
They're downstairs, dude.
Did you find them? No? Okay. I never understood why he asked that question anyway. It's like, did you find them? Well, what if I didn't? You just tell me where they are. That's not really conductive to your plan.
That's like basic video game comic book villain, right? You'll never defeat me unless you do this very specific thing you'd never think of.
I guess.
Aha! Oh no, that one thing I told you, my only weakness.
Well, speaking of
How could this be?
Saturday cartoon villains, coming up on the big one right now, Ganon on Buane's screen.
Yeah, with the golden sword here, it's only going to be, is it six slashes between phases here? It's extremely trivial to do. Or as many slashes as you want.
See, this is, I can respect this. This is
My
exactly how you do this fight with Gold Sword.
Hide my boots for that long, will ya? Get out of here. Stop, I thought I was doing you a favor.
Wow. Will you stop?
Calm down, dude. Come on. Let us beat your head. There we go.
Goodness. There we go.
Oh, wow, you can get a spin right then? That's pretty impressive. I didn't know you could do that. We will have to do spin attacks to damage Ganon without the silver arrows. Right as he starts teleporting, there's a very small frame window where you can spin attack him to deal damage. And, that's how we have to do it.
And technically, it's you can slash him too. It's just the spins have much more active time.
Yes, yes. You do not want to try to slash. It is extremely very hard.
Very, very difficult.
Meanwhile, KillerApp does take down Landmola's. And is, I guess, is going to be on his way to Turtle Rock to find his ice rod on the first chest, presumably. But Buane is finished. He's beaten up Ganon, and I gotta wait for the fanfare. And finishes! Yay!
Did it. Alright. So, GG to Buane finishing. I don't have the official time, so.
I am totally not in the SRL room. Looks like KillerApp.
Might have forfeit?
Yeah, I might have
Sometime.
forfeited upon seeing the done.
Alright, well, we're gonna see if we can get these guys in here.
Yeah, give us just a minute to see if we can get either of these runners in here. And in fact, we do have Buane. Welcome and congratulations.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
So, we would be hard pressed not to ask you and your opponent about the boots.
Yeah. For a while, it was calculated, and then I literally just forgot about it. And the feeling after turning in the mushroom and having nothing, that's the worst feeling. Anybody who plays the game, you know, we're all familiar with that feeling. Oh no, I missed something. Luckily,
Right.
it was only maybe 20 seconds till I realized, oh, I'm an idiot. Let's go do Ice Rod Cave. But yeah, it's always the boots too. Boy, when you forget something like that, it's always everything else you need is gated behind the boots. And hey, you could have had this 45 minutes ago.
You're welcome, KillerApp, as well. Same sentiments for you, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Buane.
it sucks.
we did.
but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, we when speaking on your for getting there for a moment, we did see you fly down the desert, and I think You were heading towards Agina, thinking that maybe you misread the hint, I guess? in
Yeah,
Ancient Palace?
that the only place I really could think. Okay, I know I haven't done Agna, but I'm pretty sure that hint says he's got nothing. But I couldn't think of anything else though, and finally I landed there and said, "Oh wait, there's another flute spot I can go to, isn't there?"
The early play into pod was actually really nice as well. You had a lot better routing, in my opinion, because of the mirrored fire rod you got there immediately.
Yeah, I can't decide. Technically, you didn't need to go into pod because you could have gotten the dwarf turn in for your hammer without the mirror. But how likely was it going to be that you were going to do that without the mirror? I don't know. So there were two definite routes. Even picking up the boots that late, it wasn't so terrible. I would have liked to have had them for longer, obviously, but I hadn't done anything super inefficiently yet. So I tried to just kind of stay sort of calm instead of, all right, now I'm super behind. I gotta go into Ice Palace without the hammer, or things like that. I tried to not. It's really hard. You always feel behind, don't you?
Yeah, I was the exact opposite. I was like, well, I know I lost. Better just gamble everything.
It's so hard to tell. You don't know when
Yeah,
you're
I
just
know, right?
you're sealing your fate by, okay, I'm gonna do regular stuff. Well, too bad. You're 10 minutes behind. You should be gambling, and which one's correct. Yeah, it's really hard to tell that during a run, especially.
Yeah. And we did indeed see KillerApp hop into Ice Palace, I think shortly after finding the boots and getting the mitts.
It was definitely on my mind because you feel like, wow, should have had these mitts a long time ago. We need to catch up. So I was almost
I
right there,
checked
too.
I checked all of Dark Death Mountain before I did Ice Palace. All I had left otherwise was the Smith, and of course he had the hammer.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, they do use them.
Of
Yeah, I
course.
even checked the first
True.
chest in Swamp.
I checked that too because I was coming up on only like 3 locations left. I said, well, maybe it's in Swamp Palace, so get that sweet boomerang.
Yeah. And it would have been a big pain in the butt to get all the way back there without the hammer as well. So it made sense at the time to go check that out.
Yeah, it sucked for me. I didn't go to pod right away after getting to Dark World. So I made like 2 or 3 trips around Dark Hyrule.
Well, I don't think that was an unreasonable decision, because at the time we thought that Buane dipping into pod might have been a bit premature. Since the seed to give you flippers and hookshot really early as well, it does sort of draw you towards the west side of Dark World. So
Right.
Yeah, I don't think... I think it's a coin flip. Pod is either first or last there, and I think both are right. It just happened to be... what the motivating factor, honestly, was that the bow hadn't given anything in Eastern. Didn't even unlock an item. There wasn't an item on Armos Knights at all. So I said, it's either first or last. If you do it first or last, I think both are correct. In this instance, it didn't need to be a double dip, but it was going to be very hard to get the hammer without the mirror, honestly. So it probably evened out. Would have been nice to have the boots before going in there, but
Yeah.
nice slow mirrorless bootsless pod.
That rude flute location, you'd think it'd be pretty nice being, right there near the start, but it just there's so many other things to do than fly all the way down Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah.
all right, so this was the first race for you guys, right? Of your 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who picked the settings for the seed?
This was my pick. I had started out the first couple matches I did doing these same settings but with key sanity, and realized very quickly that's right, I actually hate key sanity, so let's take it out of there. So thankfully we didn't have to do a key sanity, and you guys didn't have to sit through one. So yeah, I think this is my 4th match, and all 4 were my picks, so I got to start playing everybody else's picks pretty shortly here.
Speaking of that, KillerApp, any ideas on what you want to pick? I think Buane might have just given you an idea, but
It could be reverse psychology.
Yeah. Anything but swordless, I still gotta think. But...
Thank goodness. That's music to my ears.
I mean, I could do it in both torture, but I'd probably be a lot worse. So.
I think we just decided that now the random settings for game 3 is going to be key sanity swordless. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know where the videos are going. All right. Well, I guess that might just about do it for us. We have any final thoughts we want to get out here on how much you love the potential early boots, but never getting them?
Well,
yeah, you
Just
can't.
it don't happen again in the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Good game going and
Yeah,
rest
yeah.
away.
Killer App, this is when I was looking through the standings after the qualifiers before the group reveal, and yours was one of the obvious names. Like, wow, he's way better than where he's seated. I hope he doesn't get put in my group.
Yeah,
we got a very tough group here. So any wins I can pick up.
I was only available to play a couple of qualifiers, and of course, 2 of them had Andy just blow out the field. The one with the hook shotless.
Oh, the one with it on Helmasaur?
Yeah, where you had to. I think you had to enter GT to get the item to get the pod. I don't remember. But
Well, speaking of Andy, he's in this group too. So we got a pretty tough one. I think this is one of the more stacked groups. So there'll be a lot of fun matches. And if I move on, great. If I don't, well, then I played a bunch of good players anyway. So it'll be fun in the end.
Well, I'm gonna go. Thanks, Speed Gaming and Diesel and everyone putting on the tournament.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you for joining us. If you guys like what you saw, or heard, I guess, first portion of that race, make sure you give Buane and KillerApp a follow. Thank you as well to Slowpoke216 for being our tracker. Did a great job. Make sure you want to see more random action. Make sure you give Speed Gaming 1 through 6, I think, a follow, and ALTTPR 1 through 5. I'll get the numbers right someday, I promise. And of course, thank you to Mikan as well.
Yo, thanks
First
a lot.
time commentating with you was a great pleasure. I mean, now we do this all the time, but yeah, glad we get to do it.
Yeah,
more.
thank you to Mikan as well. They did an awesome job, and their co-com was okay too.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us, and have a great day.
Yeah, have a good day. Go watch Speed Gaming. There's Ori stuff on Speed Gaming 2. There's Sonic on Speed Gaming 1, and I'm sure there's Zelda everywhere else because there's always Zelda going on. All right, take care, guys.